Shalom.
So,
A couple of weeks ago, I made a post on YouTube sharing one of my dreams that I had in the year of 2020. And I think one or two of you asked if I could put that in a video. So I had several, well, actually many dreams in 2020, and anything that I felt a spiritual significance to, I wrote those dreams down with as much detail as I could, and I kept them in a scrapbook, like an old scrapbook that I had. And I haven't really shared them with many people. I know that there's some spiritual significance to it. And so, with that, we're going to give you a little bit of a backstory as to why I feel like it's necessary to share these things now.
okay, so we went on a trip because we wanted to see some of the pastors that we were watching at the time when we were in church. So this was a few years ago, and we went to South Carolina for the weekend. This was on October the 8th in 2021, and we stayed at a hotel on Exit 78, and it's very interesting because I went inside to check in the hotel, and I was wearing at the time the shirt that said "America needs Jesus."
Yeah, and so we were living in Georgia, but we were
Travel.
traveling to South Carolina. So where we're at in South Carolina,
Yeah. All right. So
getting
sorry,
smoked
the
out.
fire smoking us out here.
You want to switch places?
No, I'm good. The wind is kicking. So anyways, I was in the front, getting ready to check in, and this guy came by, and he just had a plain T-shirt on. Um, wasn't nothing very memorable about the guy. He was kind of dressed
Kind of like
down, and
rags.
he was dressed in kind of rags, and we started talking, and he kind of followed me out to her, and then he stopped and looked at me and asked me, "Is it okay that I speak with your wife?"
And I was sitting in the truck. I was waiting outside of the hotel for Frank to
Yeah.
check in. And so I never got out of the truck. I had rolled my window down. And
Right.
then this is
Yeah.
when Lewis.
His name. He told us his name was Lewis, and he started talking to us, and he told her that she was anointed by God, and that he was waiting on a package to arrive at the hotel, which I thought was weird because it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so he
Who's
told you
waiting at
that
it?
first, like when you
Yeah.
went in the hotel. That
Yeah, when he was walking over in this little area, and I can't remember what he was doing there, but he told me he was waiting on a package, and
at 10 o'clock at
at 10
night
o'clock at night. So
at a
I
hotel.
think maybe she was the package. I'm not sure, but um, so then we went out to the truck, and he wanted to speak with her, and he told her that she was anointed by God and that she was going to reach people. You want to take it from there?
Yeah, so he told me that, never met this man before in my life. When I rolled my window down, he came out and he stopped in his tracks and he asked Frank, he says, "Can I speak to your wife?" And he said, "Well, sure, that's fine." And he said, he paused for a minute and he looked up and he goes, "Okay, Lord, I hear you." And so then he looked at me and he said that God wanted me to know that I was anointed and that he was going to use me to reach people that were unreachable or people that no one would have anything to do with. And so this was in October of 2021. We were starting to come out of the church.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
then.
so if he would have said the name of the Most High to us that we know now, we would have probably been like, "What? What are you talking about?" So
Yeah, we were
sometimes
just
people
learning.
speak to people and they do it in a way so that you can understand.
So now that you know that part of it, so the dreams that I had in 2020, I didn't share with very many people. And a lot of people will just say like you're crazy for these things, or it was just something random, oh that's coincidence or whatever. But Lewis had told me, keep the things that God shows you to yourself, and He'll tell you when it's time to reveal it. So I feel in my spirit that it's time to start sharing these dreams. So on November 4th of 2020, I had a dream that Frank and I came out of the woods. We were very muddy, very dirty. Our hair was all messy. Frank told me that he had to go to Georgia. Now, mind you, at this time, we're living in Georgia. And I said, why? He said that he had to take care of something. And then there was a man in an SUV, a white SUV, that picked me up, just like I was, and took me to this big, beautiful white house. And I can remember seeing this man from behind. I never saw his face. He had like a buzz cut, and I was sitting in the back seat of this SUV, and we're driving along in what it looks like Virginia. And anyways, I asked what we were doing. He said, you were going somewhere special. And then I was taken to this upstairs to this big dressing room it was like a bathroom, but it was a huge dressing room. And I started seeing myself transform in the mirror. So I went from completely like filth, ugly, dirty, to like that, just transforming in the mirror. And I turn around in the corner of and so I was going from dirty to beautiful, makeup, curly hair, and looking at myself going, what just happened? So I turn around, in the corner of the dressing room was this gorgeous, gorgeous red flowy satin dress made for me to put on. And it had a really long train on it. I put on the dress and walked to the door of the room where the man had escorted me down to this really beautiful staircase. I walked with him to the outside and up to the presidential limo where President Trump was waiting for me. Now, keep in mind, we have come out of the political system.
Completely.
We don't do the politics. We don't do that.
No,
We're not trusted in man for any of that. So stick with me. I'm not saying it like he's savior or anything like that. It's just this dream that came to me. So I got in the car and he was smiling. President Trump was smiling. He told me we were going on a road trip because he had some things he wanted to show me. So I remember riding through the mountains around lots of curves. I remember lots of snow and like spruce trees. And we show up in Arizona, the state of Arizona, at these canyons. And we marveled at how pretty it was. We got out of the car and Trump said, isn't it beautiful? And we both talked about how beautiful it was. We got back in the car and continued to ride along. We stopped in front of this huge mansion with palm trees on each side, and I asked where we were. President Trump said, this is where Gavin Newsom lives, but not much longer. And then he giggled and laughed when he said it. So we continued to ride along. Of course, we're sitting in the back of the presidential limo, and we arrive in Georgia, where the president drops me off to my husband, Frank. Frank had just finished baptizing 2 topless Hispanic women. I asked what he was doing and why they had to be topless. He said, I'm sorry it had to be done this way. And then, mind you, I'm still in this beautiful red, super long satin dress. And I laid down, there were 2 watering troughs. And I laid down in this water. In one of the troughs was one of these girls that he had immersed. And I'm in this dress, and I lay down in the trough beside it. And everything was calm, and the water ran clear. And that was the end of that dream. But, I can't tell you, like, everything that means. Maybe if you have some interpretation or some thought,
Yeah, leave a comment.
with what's going on, leave a comment, there's certain things that stick out as far as, like, going from filth to, immersion, to seeing specifically like Arizona and California, seeing snow, being in this red dress, transforming in the mirror, and so anyways, we just wanted to share that with you. And like we said, leave a comment, tell us your thoughts, and may Yahuwah barak you, and you have a beautiful night.
Shalom,
Shalom,
shalom.
shalom.